Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Pro-Am Street Stock Series, sponsored by Team Goon Squad. We are bringing you grassroots racing back to the working man as we get ready to go out for our first heat race of the night. Always an interesting event here at the Pro-Am Series. 2 heat races, a last chance qualifier, and then a main event. There's no fast repairs, no additional sets of tires. Broadcasted on tape delay by yours truly, James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. And with live race control, we've got the world famous spotter Mike in the house. He'll be providing services for us tonight as we get ready for our iRacing pace car to lead out the first heat race of the evening. A lot of heavy hitters out here today. Wade Palmer, Ed Boyles, Ken Poland, Spencer Breslin, Jotun Murphy, Dan Fredrickson's here in Heat 1, Casey Carrington, Josh Langile, Nick Pothier, Donovan Strauss. Going to be interesting to see. Now we're taking 20 drivers to the main event here tonight. So we will take 8 from Heat 1, 8 from Heat 2, and then we will take the 4 remaining drivers after the last chance qualifier. The number 34, Josh Langile, passes the pace car. An interesting move. As let's see which of our drivers can bring it home in this quick 10-lap heat race tonight. Now there are no cautions in the heat races, so it's every man for himself, but race control will be watching for over-aggressive drivers and general troublemakers. So let's see what's going to happen out here today. As on the front row, it's Carrington and Langile. Carrington in the blue and yellow number 31 machine. Josh Langile easy to spot in the Hello Kitty machine, as well as Nick Pothier also in the Hello Kitty. Maybe some teamwork out here tonight. We'll wait for the iRacing safety car to make its way down pit road. There we go. And away they go. Josh Langile, Casey Carrington. We're going to go 3 wide immediately with Donovan Strauss working his way up towards the front, side by side with Carrington. And here comes Pothier as well, the number 30 machine, who wants to get a piece, but look at that. The number 34 of Langile swerving around, gets removed from the surface, and he's going to get tied up with his teammate there, as Nick Pothier will get involved as well. Now no caution, so up front is Donovan Strauss, Casey Carrington. They've got about a 7/10 margin to Dan Fredrickson, who has Murphy in the number 95 machine in hot pursuit, as up front Carrington and Strauss putting on a show. Strauss running an alternative line here compared to Carrington, a much more swooping line to carry some more speed down the short straightaways here at Southern National. And then we've also got the heated battle for third. Dan Fredrickson, he's got Murphy and Breslin in tow. Looks like Murphy's going to take over the third place spot. Now we're taking the top 8 straight to the main event tonight. As right now it shows Wade Palmer on the 4th and the number 43 machine. He's on the bubble, running 8th on circuit. As Casey Carrington and Donovan Strauss battling for the race lead, that's going to allow Joette Murphy, Fredrickson, and Breslin to get a little bit closer and interject themselves into the party. That's the last thing that Carrington and Strauss want right now. They'd rather battle for the lead all by themselves. As look at that, Murphy gets a little snap loose, the number 95 machine. As up front, Carrington and Strauss still put on a show. Strauss gets loose out of turn 4, but dives in deep through 1 and 2. It looks like it's going to be Strauss with just a bumper over Carrington. But now here comes Murphy as well to interject himself into the battle lead. 4 laps left to go in the opening heat race tonight. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. Carrington still staying glued to that inside line. Strauss making the track a little bit longer, but able to carry more speed in that number 51 machine. Ooh, are we going to go 3 wide? They hint at it. Murphy looking for a way through here. As roll we are. Look at this. Strauss doing everything he can to stay on the bumper of Carrington, while Murphy trying to shoehorn that number 95 machine in however he can. White flag is out for Donovan Strauss. Right now it shows Carrington in second, but you've got Murphy. He's doing everything in his power to make something happen. The checkered flag flies. And ooh, is it going to be? It's going to be Strauss, Murphy, Carrington, the top 3 in our opening heat race of the night. What a great showing from these guys. we will get ready for the next event. This will be our second heat race of the night. Then we'll go straight into our LCQ. As we get them lined up behind our iRacing safety car, it's David Snook, Jason Gravel, Cole Baxter, Blaze Crawford, Ryan Rose, Robert Cornwell, Gregory Balserzak, John Gann, and Wade Palmer the fifth. Is the entire, I think the entire Palmer family's racing out here. You got Wade Palmer the fifth in the 139 machine, and Wade Palmer the fourth in the 43. Very cool to see the family affair. Pace car is in. Away goes Snook and Gravel on the front rows. The field's going to dive in and deep. The number 4 of Crawford looks to take it 3 wide with a massive blink as well. He reappears right in front of the leaders. Meanwhile, Wade Palmer the fifth goes spinning around. And they are bumping and grinding. It's only a heat race. We're taking the top 8 drivers straight to the main event. As Wade Palmer the fifth in the 139 machine had that early incident, so he's going to be about 9 seconds back from the pack. And there we've got more action. That's John Grand going spinning around. Oh, the hits just keep coming. That's Cole Baxter finds himself pointing the wrong direction. So right now it's Jason Gravel out front. He's got about a 6/10 margin over Blaze Crawford. David Snook looks to have settled into third here as the field's starting to stretch out slightly. Now look at this, the battle for the bubble is about to take place with 6 laps left to go. Wade Palmer had that early race incident, and John Gann just involved in one as well, number 29, the blue and yellow. He's 7/10 down from an immediate transfer spot here. So we're having to keep an eye out and see if Palmer the fifth can hold on to it in that 139. Meanwhile, up front, things are getting a little bit more heated. Jason Gravel, Blaze Crawford putting on a show. Gravel in the number 2 machine. He's got the second fastest lap of the race, but it's Crawford with the fastest, a 15.47. And now Crawford right on the back bumper of the number 2 machine. Now I can't see too much reason for these drivers to use the old chrome horn in the front bumper to move anybody out of the way. It's just as we say that, Gravel with a spectacular save there. Almost threw it away in turn 4. And that's going to allow Crawford to get about a 1 second gap. Now David Snook trying to catch back up here, as well as Ryan Rose. But now Crawford has his share of problems, and Gravel has rejoined the battle for the lead rather quickly. 2 laps left to go. Most of the drivers comfortably in a transfer spot here. The white flag is out. Gravel and Crawford side by side, and around goes Crawford once more. Gets drilled by Ryan Rose. But that will complete our second heat of the night with Jason Gravel on the top spot. Wade Palmer the fifth. He will be going to the last chance qualifier. And we're going to get ready for our consolation race, our LCQ. Looks to be a rather empty field, so we're going to roll a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with tonight's main event. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. Welcome back, race fans. It's time for the main event of the Pro-Am Street Stock Series. 75 laps, open setups, and no fast repairs. Let's see what's going to happen here as we get ready to roll a pretty packed field. Looks like it's going to be about 20 drivers will make it to the main event here today. So a full field at a relatively tight track here at Southern National. Thank you all so much for tuning in and lending your support to the series as well as the drivers. They will absolutely appreciate the fans cheering them on here today. As we get everybody rolling out. It's going to be Donovan Strauss, Joet Murphy, Spencer Breslin, Dan Fredrickson, your top five, as everybody tries to get sorted out. Blaze Crawford, Dan Fredrickson, Ed Boyles, Ryan Rose, Ed Boyles out here, Ken Poulin. A lot of very talented drivers. Looks like it's going to be 16 drivers make their way to the main. We had a couple drivers opt to drop out tonight. Here we go once more. Jason Gravel with a spectacular launch. And already somebody's getting pinballed around. It looks like that was the number 11 of David Snook, who gets forced way out of the wall by the 57 of Cromwell. And here we go, carnage at Southern National. Dylan Courtney involved in that one hard on the inside wall. The number 22 machine, I believe John Grant and Gregory Balserzak also tied up in that one. And that will bring out our first caution of the night. A long way to go for these drivers. Trying to get them all lined up. Looks like everybody's still out on track. Casey Carrington down pit road. He got tied up in that early incident. No, Carrington, a late entry. He wasn't able to make it to the grid with a disconnect issue. As Strauss and Crawford have a little bit of contact under caution. Not sure if there's some bad blood between those two or what the issue may have been there. Here we go once more, the first restart of the night. Donovan Strauss, Blaze Crawford on the front row. Ooh, Crawford giving a bit of a shove to Strauss. We've seen Strauss run some alternative lines, and now here comes Jason Gravel as well, but towards the back we may have problems. And no, look at that. It's a pileup, the top three. Donovan Strauss, Jason Gravel, Blaze Crawford, all heavily involved in that one. So many fast guys getting collected. And Jason Gravel, Donovan Strauss go straight to pit road. They are going to be done and out of this show tonight. And now it shows Murphy, the number 95 machine, as your race leader. Ryan Rose second. Spencer Breslin's worked his way up into third. Second caution, only 10 laps in. So we'll try and get them lined up. We are down to what looks like 14 drivers out on track. Crawford in pit row. Strauss and Gravel look to be done for the evening. Here we go once more. Rhodes and Murphy. Murphy very slow on the gas. Almost looks like he checked up there in that 95 machine. And now Ryan Rose will get some laps led as Murphy works his way back into second after a terrible restart. Number 11 machine David Snooks looks to try and slide his way up into third around Ed Boyles Jr. And the number 32 machine, he will do so cleanly. And now Wade Palmer the fifth, and the 139 machine made it to the main event after the LCQ and getting his way back up in here. He's going to get around Ed Boyles in the 32 machine as there goes the 29 of John Gann. Going the wrong direction. Gann takes a tow back to pit road, and yes, unfortunately, it will bring out yet another caution. As it looks like also Ed Boyles Jr. finds himself pointed the wrong direction. You know, who's happy about these cautions has got to be Casey Carrington, number 31 machine. With his iRacing, we got word crashed before the main event. Able to rejoin. He's still 5 laps down, but he's going to take these lucky dogs as quickly and as fast as he can, appreciating every time the yellow flag is out. we'll try and get them lined up once more as the field is dwindling as we sacrifice bodywork to the racing gods. As now John Gann will join the short list of drivers having to return to pit road and go back to the hauler to plan again for next week. So it's going to be Murphy and Rose on the front row, Snook and Palmer the fifth on your second row, Boyles and Breslin your third row for this restart. Not even to the halfway mark, and we are sacrificing a whole lot of drivers. Away they go, Rose with a spectacular launch, and here comes Snook on the inside line of Palmer to take over third. Palmer's going to try and answer with more momentum down the backstretch, but it's going to be tough once these drivers can really get down on that inside groove and keep things going. It makes it difficult to make any moves as Palmer bounces off everything. Meanwhile, that Snook and Murphy have a little bit of contact as well. These guys are battling their hearts out today. And Snooks and Murphy still side by side. We're 2 wide and 3 rows deep from the battle second place back. This is allowing Ryan Rose to really stretch his legs and get away from the fray behind him. And he may even do a little bit of tire saving out here today. Oh, look at that though. Snook gets turned around and then demolished. The whole field gets demolished. More bodywork getting thrown erratically across. Looks like Courtney Pula and Snook all involved in that one. And unfortunately for Ryan Rose, the field will get stacked back up. He was enjoying that clean track ahead of him. Several drivers came down pit road. Courtney, Boyles, Breslin, maybe trying to get some repairs done those machines and get back out there as Breslin drops all the way back down to 10th. And Boyles and Courtney taking an extended stay on pit road to try and get those machines fixed once more. Now, most of these drivers will have their setups and fuel calculated to make it the entire distance tonight, not wanting to lose that very precious track condition and find yourself in the meat grinder. But besides Ryan Rose, who had a very comfortable 2-second margin on that last run, there wasn't really a safe spot on the track. Pace car is in. Rose gets on it, gets going. Wade Palmer the fifth moves back up to second. And here we go once more. David Snook involved in that one. I believe Spencer Breslin may have been as well. But we're going to keep it green for now, as Snook has a bit of a connectivity issue. And Wade Palmer up front in the 139 machine trying to track down Ryan Rose, as he knows Fredrickson in the number 48 Ally back street stock hot on his heels. Rose steps out the back end, trying to put that power down as quickly as he can while still holding on to it. As Palmer showing him a wheel on the inside line going into turn one. They're side by side. Palmer's got about a car length, just about. They're running bumper to bumper. And then Rose tags the outside wall, but is he going to return the favor back to Palmer? Looking up the inside line, Palmer has the momentum down the start-finish line straight. Interesting to see Palmer running the K1 Speed painted street stock machine, the indoor go-kart franchise. Good to see those guys well represented out here today. And now Wade Palmer is going to get some laps led in that 139 machine, keeping it nice and tidy. Cycle a little bit further back, we have another heated battle. Wade Palmer the fourth finds himself racing with David Snooks. Palmer the fourth, the number 43 machine. Snooks in the green and black number 11, being chased by Team Goon Squad's own Spencer Breslin in the 355 machine. Great battling here in 4th to 6th place. Here comes Murphy joining the fray as well. He's right on the back bumper of Spencer Breslin as David Snooks slots back into 7th. And not a lot of room here between Murphy and Breslin. Murphy all over the back bumper of the red, white, and blue 355 machine. As we say that, Wade Palmer the fifth drops the fastest lap of the race with a 15.72. He's got that clean track ahead of him and no worries besides what's going on behind him. As we go back to the battle for 4th, Wade Palmer the fifth, feeling the fourth, feeling the pressure from Breslin in the 355. Breslin looks to the inside line coming out of turns 4, but will he have the momentum down the start-finish line straight? It looks like he's going to have it going into turns 1 and 2. But will he be able to get clear of Palmer as Palmer's staying on that mid to high line, carrying just a little bit more momentum. Now Breslin has to be careful here as this inside group, when you're staying down there and really working the bottom, it can cause you to kill those tires over the duration of the run as they make their way through traffic. And we got confirmation David Snook came down pit road on lap 41, it looks like. Not quite sure what he had going on there. As Breslin and Palmer still putting on a show side by side, several laps in a row. At the line, it was Palmer by just a few hundredths of a second, but Breslin's going to make him work for it all the way around. Breslin finally getting cleared of Wade Palmer the fourth in the 43 machine. And we're going to go a little bit farther up front where Ryan Rose, the number 16 machine, has traffic to contend with. That's going to be David Snook, the number 11, right behind him. And he knows he does not want to get tied up with traffic, but we've got more cars sacrificed. It looks like it's going to be Gregory Balzarek and Joet Murphy. Let's see if the caution flies. It looks like it may. No, we're going to keep it green and keep charging forward. So we're going to go check back in on Ryan Rose running second. He's about 3 seconds back from Wade Palmer, but more importantly, only 6/10 ahead of Fredrickson and number 48 machine. Will Fredrickson be able to catch up here? We'll keep an eye on the lap times as well, as last time by, Rose was about 1/10 slower than Fredrickson. But surely we'll have a caution as Wade Palmer the fourth finds himself pointing in the wrong direction to start-finish line. So we will bring out the caution with Wade Palmer the fifth up front in that 139. Ryan Rose shows second, Dan Fredrickson third, Spencer Breslin fourth, and Robert Cornwell rounding out the top five. Try and get them lined back up once more, showing 6 drivers on the lead lap at this point. Now we know Wade Palmer, the 5th, has the speed in that 139 machine, but surviving these restarts so incredibly crucial. As we get formed back up double file for what could be the final time tonight. Although I have a sneaking suspicion where it's going to be about 21 laps to go on this restart, we may see the yellow flag out once more. Pace car coming in this time by. And immediately Wade Palmer, the 5th, hops on the gas. Ryan Rose going to try not to let him get him too far away. And Dan Fredrickson has plans as well to try and make some moves in that number 48 machine as he slides up into 2nd. Breslin with a massive blink, it's tied up with traffic. And Ryan Rose returns back to 4th. Not quite sure what happened there. Is he out of gas? I think Ryan Rose may be out of gas, so Wade Palmer is going to start extending that gap, or at least try to, over Dan Fredrickson. But hate to see that for Ryan Rose. He was running so strong today. Ed Boyles Jr. leaves out of pit road, number 32 Oreo-backed machine, trying to salvage a bit of a night. As now we check in on the battle for 3rd, Robert Cornwell has company with Breslin, the 355 machine. Both drivers getting around traffic as quickly as they possibly can. As now there's a healthy amount of lap traffic intertwined into the fray here at Southern National. Cornwell finding some more time, extending that gap to about 7/10 over the 355 machine. Breslin trying to cut through traffic as quickly as he can, but so tough, even with the lack of drivers now that a large portion of the field finds themselves back in the hollers and watching from the grandstands. Still enough traffic to make it exciting and make it a little bit hard to hit your marks. But now Breslin finding a little bit of clean track in front of him has closed the gap to 4/10. Meanwhile, the lap traffic behind him has their own bit of a battling. That's Wade Palmer, the 4th, and Ed Boyles Jr. going around. And look at that, Breslin putting the pressure on Cornwell in the battle for 3rd, side by side, coming down the start-finish line. Only 13 laps left to go here. Are we going to see Cornwell answer and get back up there in podium contention? Because out front, Wade Palmer, the 5th, Dan Fredrickson starting to stretch the legs of their machine. Now that they've got clean track and plenty of time. The good news is, with the amount of cautions, the driver's not too terribly worried about tire wear tonight. As a reminder, they have no additional tires behind the wall, so the tires you start off with, for better or worse, will be the ones you're finishing with. Breslin extending that gap to about 7/10 of a second, so he's running strong. Wade Palmer, the 5th, still out front in the K1 Speedback 139 machine. He's extended that gap to 3.3 seconds over Fredrickson. Fredrickson having a great race, though, in the 48 Ally-backed machine, keeping her relatively clean, all things considered. And running very well. Now let's see what his lap time is this time by. as he was about 3/10 off the pace of Wade Palmer. Palmer with a 15.91, Fredrickson with a 16.24. But I think Fredrickson knows he doesn't have to risk too much here, as Breslin gained about a quarter of a second that last time by, but Breslin's still about 1.2 back from the second place driver, Dan Fredrickson. Ooh, a healthy tagging of the outside wall by Fredrickson. Got to be careful on these street stock machines. They're a little finicky. You can tag that wall so many times, and the sim may sporadically give you a very, very heavy punishment for tagging that wall. So as it stands, it's Palmer, Fredrickson, Breslin currently in podium contention, fairly stretched out between each other. Unless we see something wild happen here in the end, that could be the finishing results, but that's the joy of driving with traffic as Wade Palmer the 5th gets ready to get by Ken Pullen's number 41 machine. Pullen yields the line to your race leader, not wanting to get involved in the race leader's race and maybe make a very costly mistake that could ruin somebody else's night, so well done to Pullen. And the white flag will fly this time by for Wade Palmer. He's got a 5.7 second advantage. Meanwhile, we're gonna have a battle for second after all. Spencer Breslin has caught up to within 3/10 of Fredrickson. The white flag is out. This is the last time these drivers are gonna have an opportunity to make this happen. Are we gonna see Breslin send it in deep in 3 and 4? Is Fredrickson gonna hold on to it? Wade Palmer the 5th crosses the line as your finisher. And then it's going to be Dan Fredrickson, Spencer Breslin rounding out the podium here tonight at Southern National. Well done to these drivers getting through it despite the amount of cautions we had. And Wade Palmer the 5th is going to take his victory lap and celebrate in style, crashing into his friends. And wow, absolutely destroying some bodywork. So well done, Wade Palmer the 5th, bringing home the win here tonight. Number 32 machine, Ed Boyle's having some fun with it as well, as Palmer starts to celebrate in the middle of a hot track. And then you can hear the engines getting sacrificed to the racing gods tonight. So that's our podium. Wade Palmer the 5th, Dan Fredrickson, and Spencer Breslin. A great race from all these drivers. As always, on behalf of the Team Goon Squad Pro-Am Street Stock Series, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Have a great night, everyone.